Coming up in the morning edition, DPM says government is encouraged by improvements in Grand Bahama. The opposition leader says he was not consulted about the appointment of the acting deputy commissioner of police. And it's time to go down to Smith's Point in Grand Bahama. Hump Day is here. Welcome to the morning edition. You're almost there. I'm LaDon Davis. Basil Dean, our chief meteorologist, is standing by with today's weather report to help you chart your course weather-wise. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDon. As we take a look at our tower cam, we have just a few clouds floating out there overlooking the beautiful harbor area there. And as we go to our satellite picture, we have that stalled out frontal boundary across the northwest Bahamas. That will continue to support 1 or 2 showers in the northwest Bahamas today. And then we have a surface trough over the extreme southeast Bahamas. So just around Inagua there, they could get some showers today as well. Outside of our studios, we have a few clouds, 76 degrees is the current temperature. Relative humidity 80%. The winds are out of the south-southeast at 5 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,016.0 millibars. That's 30.02 inches, and it is falling. Temperatures around the islands this morning, 76 showing up in Marsh Harbor, Green Toll Key, that's Abaco. Freeport at 75 degrees in the Berry Islands. We're picking up 78, 77 in Alistown, Bimini, 77 in Harbor Island, Rock Sound, Eleuthera, Otterstown, Cat Island, 78, 77 in Staniel Key, Kemp Space, St. Andros, Fresh Creek and Central Andros at 78 degrees. San Salvador and Rum Key, 78 degrees, 78 also in Ragged Island, Clarence Sound, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Maguana, Acklands, Matthewtown at 79, the Turks and Caicos Islands, 78 degrees. Your boating forecast for today in the northwest and central islands, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet, high tide 10:01 this morning, low tide 4:04 in the afternoon. And for the southeastern islands, winds out of the southeast at 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet with a moderate sharp. Caution flags are in place for boaters in the southeast Bahamas. And that's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. School is still in and our streets are still congested. Jimonita Swain is standing by with the Bahamas First traffic report.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
Good morning, LaDon, and good morning, Bahamas. We're coming to you live from the Mila Butler Highway. So far as it relates to the ongoing roadworks that were occurring in this area, one part of the southbound lane has been paved, the other remains unpaved. So if you do have to use this area, you should be mindful of that. The regular morning commute is taking place in the northbound lane. It's bumper-to-bumper traffic, but there has been a steady flow. But joining us now to talk about any and all traffic concerns is, of course, Sergeant Ron Thompson of the Police Traffic Division. Good morning, Sergeant Thompson.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas.
Now, are there any areas of concern, crashes or accident-wise, that we need to be mindful of as motorists make their morning commute?
There were no reported accidents yet for today, thank God. We have some road works also going on in the West Bay Street area, just in the area of Compass Point, going further west towards Old Fort Bay.
Now, what about overnight? Any, accidents that you're still investigating?
Yes, we had 9 crashes in the last 24 hours, 2 of which involves crashes with injuries. One in particular, we had an overturned vehicle at the junction of Augusta Street and Hospital Lane.
Now, I guess I know that oftentimes traffic police often talk about the fact that speed plays a factor in a number of these crashes. What do you say to motorists to remind them of why they should stay within the confines of the speed limit as opposed to speeding on the streets?
I would advise motorists to stay within the confines of the speed limit because the speed limit in certain areas that are posted, it is designed for you to have ample break-in time, ample response time to anything that may arise in the front of you. For instance, in the communities, there are speed limits of 25 miles per hour. So you could avoid, if a child will run into the street, you'll have ample time to see that child or to see that ball before the child runs behind the ball, to break in time, to avoid any crashes.
Well, thank you so much. That is, of course, Sergeant Duran Thompson of the Police Traffic Division. Like we told you, we are in the area of the Mila Butler Highway. Paving is still ongoing as it relates to the southbound lane, so you may need to give yourself some more time. Back to you in studio, LaDawn.
Thanks, Jimanita. Now on to our top story this morning. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, says government feels encouraged by what is happening over in Grand Bahama, where tourist arrivals are up 8%, and a number of major investments have been announced. In March, the government signed a letter of intent with Royal Caribbean Cruises Limited and the ITM Group for the purchase of the Grand Lucayne Resort and the redevelopment of the Freeport Harbor. Government also signed a heads of agreement with Carnival Cruise Lines for the development of a cruise port in Sharp Rock, East Grand Bahama in February. And Turnquest anticipates the effects will soon be felt.
Those two will be the catalyst for the real economic turnaround that we're hoping for. So I think we're on the right path. And I think very shortly, certainly within this calendar year, we will have reason to celebrate and for Grand Bahamians to return home to help build our island.
Progressive Liberal Party leader Philip Brave Davis making it clear that he was never consulted on the appointment of Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police Paul Rolle. It was indicated in a press statement from the Commissioner of Police that the appointment was made in accordance with the law and after consultation with the leader of the opposition. During a press conference at the party's Farrington Road headquarters Tuesday, Davis says while he has no issues with the new Acting Deputy Commissioner Rolle, he feels he should have been consulted.
On the heels of they having decimated the senior ranks of the force, I will not be able to intelligently respond to a request for the appointment of anyone unless I know what the plans are for that office, for the police force. That's right. Right now, we don't know what shape or form, what are the plans, what is the organizational plans, how they intend to effectively carry out the policing efforts in accordance with the Commissioner's Police and plans for the year.
Efforts are now underway to increase more visitor arrivals from the Central American market to the Bahamas. This week, tourism officials launched their Flyaway campaign in Mexico City. Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar, says visitors from the Central American market, including Mexico, are becoming more adventurous and are looking for something more interesting to do and choose the Bahamas to do just that. De Aguilar says more visitors from that market are vacationing right here in the Bahamas.
We're certainly putting some more advertising assets into Latin America. We found that certain countries like Colombia, Brazil, have a lot of affluent citizens who are looking for something unique and different. And, with the Copa connection, Copa Airlines, you can fly to Panama City and then on to Nassau. You avoid that whole visa palaver with the United States, and you can come straight on to come straight on to the Bahamas.
The Bahamas Red Cross is in full preparation mode for yet another active hurricane season, which starts on June 1st. Plans are in motion to ensure that Bahamians everywhere are ready as officials take their Give Back and Be Ready campaign to Andros at this hour. Red Cross officials tell us that they plan to make a donation of water tanks to several Family Island communities without fire engines and to mitigate local disasters. President Therese Curry encouraged Bahamians everywhere to prepare.
Be prepared. Make sure that you have done or have your hurricane supplies set aside, your canned goods. Make sure you have your hurricane package set aside. Know where the hurricane shelters are that's close to you, and be prepared to move to those hurricane shelters. And just be wise in making decisions when you hear the reports on the news and what's happening in regards to this hurricane season.
You know how we love our Family Islands. We're going to take a break here, but when we come back, let's take a trip down to Smith's Point over there in Grand Bahama.
would like to know what happened overnight.
A different ambience of the news.
It's very informative to me. It keeps you up to date on what's going on in the Bahamas, and you get to hear it firsthand early in the morning.
Welcome back to the Morning Edition. A local entertainer is making waves again on an international scene. Recently, Ruben Delaveau unleashed the country's #1 cultural expression to the Canadian market. We caught up with Delaveau after his performance to talk about his love of the industry. Drummer and percussionist Ruben Rumpapom Delaveau has been promoting Bahamian culture through the beat of a drum for more than 3 decades, following in the footsteps of veterans Berkeley Peanuts Taylor and John Chippy Chipman. Rumpapom took his drum all the way to Canada and showcased his talents to a large audience at the Ministry of Tourism's Flyway campaign launch, something he says he has a passion for.
The most important thing is, if we could please the Bahamians home, it comes easy for the international audience. And it's been a gift from God to put on a show for the people and entertain them. You know, I think my job is to entertain the people, and I just give thanks for it. And, you know, I want to take my talent beyond the islands and the Caribbean. So this international flavor is exceptional well for us. And I always wanted to be a role model, so I want to lead in that category by example.
Ruben, who has been dubbed one of the greatest Bahamian drummers in the world, reflected on his relationship with 2 drumming legends who have not only paved the way but have mentored him over the years.
I am humbled and I'm honored to be mentioned in that great drumming legendary squad. Those guys have set the foundation very high, and I am very humbled to remain consistent in my drumming and my talents. And you know, the sky is the limit, so I am happy about that.
And just where did the name Rumpapom come from?
Well, they named me after a Christmas carol. So the drummer boy was always instilled in me, so they named me after the Christmas carol, and I love the name.
Ruben Delaveau is also the leader of the rhythm band and has performed for the Today Show with Ryan Seacrest and Kelly Ripa. Ruben says he plans to continue to take Rake and Scrape and Junkanoo to the world. Meanwhile, Jay Philippe from our Northern Service news desk was enjoying himself down at the Fish Fry in Smiths Point, Grand Bahama. He shows us what his experience was like.
To have a good time on Grand Bahama, whether it is a Wednesday night or a weekend, then Smiths Point Fish Fry is definitely the place to be. Penny Williams is a native of Smiths Point, where she has been in the fish fry business for almost 40 years now and looks forward to fish fry nights.
The best part for me is just enjoying, see when the tourists come, to make them happy, to serve them with joy, serve them with happiness, and that just make my whole day.
And if you want to know what's on the menu, well, here you go.
I have jerk chicken, jerk pork, barbecue ribs, barbecue chicken, fried fish, peas and rice, macaroni and cheese, coleslaw, potato salad, potato bread, coconut bread, guava, the works.
We ran into some visitors that seem to be having a blast at the fish fry. Teresa, you're visiting from Arkansas. Tell us about your experience at the fish fry so far.
Well, it's been fabulous so far. The food is amazing. We have really enjoyed ourselves thus far. Now we're going to go check out the dancing shortly, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot more fun.
Another set of visitors were having the time of their life at the fish fry.
I'm from New York, and I'm Jamaican originally, but I live in New York, and I came over here on vacation, and I'm just trying to check out your beautiful island. You got nice, friendly people over here. You know, the food is good. I tried some nice food, the conch salad and stuff like that.
And speaking of conch salad, Terry is the real deal.
This conch I can braid it now just to go with a combination with boil, all right? It's a boiled and a regular conch salad. Right there. Well, it's a boiled combination. You got the bubby and the skin and the boiled conch and the regular conch in this here with onion, tomato, sweet pepper, some lime and some orange. Put it together, some hot pepper.
And if you're looking for some good old fish at the fish fry, then look no further than the fish king himself, the man they call Clifford Eden.
We have a variety of fish. We have snappers, we have turbot, we have barracuda. We also have grouper. We have all the varieties of fish. We have lobster, when lobster's in season. And we can fix it any way your heart desire. We've been doing it for the last 20 years now, and we haven't had one dull moment. Everybody come and enjoy it. Everybody, when they're leaving, they come and compliment us with how good the food is.
So there you have it. The world's famous Smiths Point Fish Fry is where you can experience an authentic atmosphere, Bahamian food, and culture at its best. Reporting from Smiths Point Fish Fry, I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
Fisher looks like Jay was having some great food.
I remember when I was in Freeport, I remember eating that eating. So you know what I'm going to do? We're going to book 2 tickets, you and I.
Yes.
We're not going to take Vaughn. You and I are going over the night.
Vaughn and Tanya.
You can do the morning edition tomorrow because we're going to catch the fish flight back tomorrow morning. So you and I,
yes, definitely.
we're going over tonight.
So what's coming up in sports?
Coming up in sports, the National Soccer Championship got started last night over at the Roscoe Davis Field. But my mind is on that fish over there, the fish fry. LaDon, I'm serious. Let's go.
That and more ahead in sports. We're going.
Good morning once again. The Sam Haven National Soccer Championships getting started at the Roscoe Davis Field. In the game late last night, Sierra Walker Senior Girls double up Sunderland out of Grand Bahama 4-2. And in the feature game, the Knights of Sierra Walker bounced Lucana International 6-1. Let's now look at the opening game of the day. It was Destiny Lafleur, lone goal, proving to be enough as the Anatole Rogers Timberwolves, they calmed down the St. Andrews Hurricanes 1-0.
Coming out of GSSA Championship, our first game with St. Andrews, it's kind of slow, but we're glad we came out with a victory because your first win gives you a bit of confidence going into the second round. So it was very important winning the first game. Well, the match overall, my girls, they were a bit slow in the first half. The sun was working against them, but in terms of pushing, they pushed after the second half and they were able to come out with a 1 goal that gave us a victory.
In the second match, the Aces of Aquinas outdueled the Magic of Government High on 2 goals apiece from Jordan Fremantle and Robensky Nevillas, and the other from Takeo Poitia in the 5-1 move-on win.
Feel great, and I guess it boosts the confidence of the boys as well. And so the next match should be a more comfortable match. It's more challenging, but more comfortable in terms of their mindset. And so the big win, make us be more confident and determined to go for the next win, which will be a very, very critical win, I would say.
After getting a day off, Jasrado Chisholm was back at it, going 2 for 4, double and scored a run, leading the Jackson Generals to a 3-2 win over Birmingham on Tuesday. Team Bahamas settling in at the IWF World Relays in Japan. All the athletes are there at ZNS Sports, speaking with Coach Rupert Gardner just a while ago, where it is already afternoon there.
We will be in the men's 4x4 and the men's 4x2. We're looking to qualify for the World Championship in the men's 4x4 later down in the year at the World Championship, Outdoor Championship. But the teams are ready to go. We are, like I said, we went to a light workout and we're going to do full exchanges tomorrow. Each athlete went through the various workout because, the coaches give the athletes the workout to do. But tomorrow we'll do our exchanges for the men's 4x4 and the men's 4x2 because, that 4x2 is a different event. And you have to get those exchanges right for the 4x2. But things are going good. We'll see what will happen tomorrow. By then, we'll know who's going to run the first round and both relays, men's 4x1 and men's 4x2 and men's 4x4. Things are going great for Team Bahamas since we arrived in Japan. But, we are 12 hours ahead of time in the Bahamas, so we have to make an adjustment to the time. And the athletes are making adjustment. We went to practice yesterday morning. Things went well. We're going to go back to practice tomorrow to go through our exchanges, but things are looking good.
Gardner joining us from Japan this morning. That's going to do it for Sports on the Morning Edition. If I don't show up for work tomorrow, LaDon and I will be in Fish Fry tonight in Freeport.
In our final look at weather, we have a weakening front boundary across the northwest Bahamas, and that will generate some showers in the areas today. And then we have this troughing across the extreme southeast Bahamas. That, too, will generate some showers around Inagua and the Turks and Caicos Islands. The forecast for today calls for times of clouds and sunshine, 1 or 2 showers, particularly in the vicinity of those trough. High temperature today getting up to 86 degrees, and tonight we're looking at partly cloudy, a few more showers lingering around with a low temperature of 75 degrees. Extended weather forecast off and on showers right into Friday and Saturday morning. Things dry out in the afternoon. Heading into Sunday, it looks a lot better, and the early part of next week, even better still. LaDon?
Thanks a lot, Basil. That's it for us today on today's Morning Edition. Tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. for more Morning Edition. Once again, I'm LaDon Davis. Have a great day.
I come from the gutter. I mean, hide and seek and catching fleas in the summer.